also first come and get bitten, so you don't know, now you know. And also comment to say that you watched the whole video. Comment something about the story that you like, and comment if that's your first time here for the story time. Cause last week it was very juicy, it was very interesting. So if you missed last week, go check it out. I have a playlist. But yes, okay y'all, let's get into the video. Okay, alright. So let's pick up where we left off. Let's get going. I'm so excited to get to it, y'all. I want to know what's going on next. Okay, so this is where we at. I think y'all got a glimpse of it. Laurel hands the young girl who washed her hair a 2-pound coin. Thank you, Dora says, smiling nicely. Then she gives the hairstylist a 5-pound note and says, thank you. Tina, it looks great. It really does. Thank you so much. She eyes her reflection one more time in the wall-length mirror before leaving her hair. It's shoulder-length blonde, shiny and wishy. Her hair is entirely unrepresentative of what lies beneath. If she could pay someone itch-dried green 80 pounds to give her psyche a shiny, swishy blow-dry, she would, and she would get them more than a 5-pound tip. Outside it is a blowy autumn afternoon. Her hair feels light as silk. It is whipped around her head. It is late, and she's hungry and decides that she can't wait to get home to eat. So she pushes open the door to the cafe 3 doors down from her hairdresser and orders herself a toasted cheese sandwich and a decaf cappuccino. This my second time hearing about a decaf cappuccino. I didn't know they had a decaf cappuccino. I just like cappuccinos. She eats fast and the cheese pulls away from the bread in early strings that break and slap against her chin. She has a paper napkin to her chin to wipe away the grease when a man walks in. He is over age, height, average build around 50. His hair is cut short, gray at the temples, residing and darker on the top. He was wearing good jeans with a nice shirt, laced up shoes, torso shell glasses. The sort of clothes that Paul would wear. She finds to her surprise that she is almost admiring the man in the doorway. There is something about him, a low-key swagger, and a certain dare. She say, twinkle in his eyes, she but softly stomach good hands, one ear that protrudes slightly farther than the other. He's not handsome in a traditional sense of the word, but has the air of a man who has long ago accepted his physical limitations, shifted all the focus to his personality. He orders a slice of carrot cake, a black coffee. His accent is hard to place, possibly American, or a foreigner who learned English from Americans, and then carries them to the table next to hers. Laura breath catches. He didn't appear to have noticed her staring at him, yet he's chosen the table closest to hers, and a cafe full of empty tables. She panics, feelings as though maybe she's a subconscious and actively invited his attention. She doesn't want his attention. She doesn't want any attention. For a few moments they sit like that, side by side. He doesn't look at her, not once, but Laurel can feel some kind of intimate iterating from him. The man plays with a smartphone. Laurel finishes her cheese sandwich in a smaller, slower mouthfuls. After a while, she begins to think maybe she was imagining. She drinks her coffee and starts to leave. Then, you have a beautiful smile. She turns around, shocked at his words, and says, "Oh, really pretty. Thank you." Her hands going to her hair. Unthinkingly, I just had it done. It doesn't normally look this good. He smiles. You ever had this carrot cake before? She shakes her head. It's pretty amazing. Would you like to try some? She laughs nervously. No, thank you. I have a clean spoon right here. She pushes it across his table toward her. Go on. I'm never going to eat all this. A blade of light passes across the cafe. That moment brought as torchlight. It touches the spoon. It makes it glitter. The cake has the indents of his fork in it. The moment is curiously intimate, and Laurel's gut reaction is to back away to leave. But as she watches the sparkles on the silver spoon, she feels something inside her begin to open up. Something like hope. She picks up the spoon and she scoops the small chunk of cake from the end that she has not touched. His name is Floyd Dunn. He offers her hand and says, "Pleased to meet you, Laura Mack." His grip is warm and warm. "What's your accent?" she asks, pulling her chair closer to his table, feeling the blade of sunlight warming the back of her head. "Ah," he says, dabbling his mouth with a paper napkin. "What is it? My accent would be a better question. I am the son of very ambitious Americans who chase jobs and money all around the world. 4 years in the U.S., 2 in Canada, another 4 in the U.S., 4 in Germany, a year in Singapore, then 3 in the U.K. My parents went back to the States. I stayed there. The UK, my anyone else touch my hair, so I trek down here every month. Well, he says, well, he eyes her hair. It looks worth it to me. His tone is flatteration, and she has to ask herself if she's weird or not. Is there something odd about him? Anything a bit off? Is she falling to read warning signs? Is he going to scam her, rape her, abduct her, stalk her? Is she mad? Is she bad? She asks these silent, internalized questions of everyone she meets. She was never a trusting person, even more before her daughter vanished and then turned up dead 10 years later. Paul always said he'd taken her on a long-term project. She refused to marry him until Jake was a toddler, scared that he was just going through a phase and wouldn't stand up at the register office. But she asks these questions even more these days because she knows that the worst case scenario is not simply a terrible thing that isn't likely to happen. But she's staring at this man with gray eyes and gray hair and soft skin and nice shoes. She cannot find one thing wrong with him, apart from the fact that he is talking. He is taking to her. Thank you, she says, replies to his compliment. And then she moves her chair back toward her table, wanting to leave, but also wanting to ask her to say, "You have to go," he says. "Well, yes," she says, trying to think of something she needs to do. I'm going to see my daughter. I'm going to see my daughter. She is not going to see her daughter. She never sees her daughter. "Oh, you have a daughter?" "Yes, and a son. One of each." "Yes," she says, the pain of the denying her gone daughter piercing her heart. "One of each. I have 2 girls." She nods and hitches her bag to her shoulder. "How old?" "One of 21, one of 9. "Do they live with you?" "The 9-year-old does. The 21-year-old lives with her mom." Oh, he smiles. "It's complicated, isn't everything?" She smiles back, and then he tears a corner off of a newspaper left on the table next to his and finds a pen in his coat pocket and says, "Here, I've really enjoyed talking to you, but it hasn't been for long enough. I really like to take you out for dinner." He scribbles a number on the scrap of paper and passes it to her. Call me. So assured, so simple, so forward. She cannot imagine how a human could be that way. She takes that piece of paper and rubs it between her fingertips. "Yes," she says. Then, well, maybe. He laughs. He has a lot of feelings. Maybe we will do for me. Maybe we'll do. She leaves the cafe quickly and without looking back. That evening, Laurel does something she's never done before. She drops into Hannah's unannounced. The expression her older daughter faces when she sees her mother standing on the doorstep is 90% appalled and 10% concerned. "Mom, hello, love." Hannah looks behind her as though plausible reason for her mother's presence somewhere in her vicinity. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. I just passing and felt I hadn't seen you in a while. I saw you on Sunday, and it had popped by with an old laptop for her, but hadn't crossed the threshold. Yes, I know, but that was just, well, wasn't proper. Hannah moves from one bare foot to the other. Do you want to come in? That would be nice, darling, thank you. Hannah is in joggers and a tight white t-shirt with the word cherry emblazed across the shirt and across the front. Hannah has never been much of a style maven. She favors a black suit from Banana Republic for work and cheap leisure wear for home. Laurel doesn't know what she wears in the evenings, since they never go anywhere together in the evenings. Do you want a cup of tea? Bit late for tea for me. Hannah rolls her eyes. She has little patience with Laurel's caffeine sensitivity, thinks she makes it all up to annoy her. Well, I'm going to have a coffee. What shall I get you? Nothing, honestly. I'm fine. She watches her daughter moving around her small kitchen and she wonders if she was ever a time she and Hannah were close. Where have you been then? Says Hannah. I'm sorry. You said you were passing. Oh, yes, right. Hair appointment. She touches her hair again, feeling the white light burning through her. It looks lovely. Thank you, darling. The piece of newspaper with scribbles, numbers, and the name Lloyd on it in her pocket, and she touches it as she speaks. A funny thing happened. She begins and throws her a look of dread. It's the same look she throws her anytime she starts a conversation about anything, as though she's terrified of being dragged into something she has got the emotional capacity to deal with. A man gave me his phone number and asked me for dinner. The look of dread turns into horror and Laurel feels she would do anything, pay anything, give anything to be having this conversation now with Ellie. Not with Hannah. Ellie would whoop and beam, throw herself at Laurel and squeeze her hard. Tell her it was amazing and incredible and awesome. And Ellie wouldn't have made it all those things. Of course, I'm not going to call him. Of course I'm not. But it got me thinking about us, about all of us. How we're all flown about like separate islands. Wow, y'all, this was the longest chapter I read. I still gotta start the video over. Maybe if I can read this fast enough. I doubt I can. I'm gonna start the video over. See y'all. I'm back. Dang. These chapters then got longer. we still haven't found a way to be a family again. It's like we're all stuck inside that day. I mean, look at you. She knows the moment the words leave her mouth that they are completely the wrong ones. What? Hannah sits up, unknits her fingertips. What about me? Well, you're amazing. Obviously, you're amazing. And I'm so proud of you and how hard you work and everything you've been. You're so. Okay. Well, you're amazing. Obviously, you're amazing. And I am so proud of you and how hard you've been working and everything you achieve. But don't you ever think it's all a bit one-dimensional? I mean, you don't even have a cat. What? A cat? Are you being serious? How the hell could I have a cat? I'm out all day and all night. I never see it. Laurel puts a hand out to her daughter. Forget about the cat, she says. I was just using it as an example. I mean, all these hours you worked, isn't there anything? Some other dimension, a friend, a man. Her daughter blinks slowly. Her daughter blinks slowly. Oh, right that way. Her daughter blinks slowly at her. Why are you asking about me? You know I don't have much time for this conversation. Laurel sighs and touches the back of her neck. I just noticed, she says, a few times recently when I've seen into clean, you haven't been home the night before. Hannah flushes and then grimaces. She says, you thought I had a boyfriend. Well, yes, I did wonder. Hannah smiles presumptuously. No, mother, she says, sadly not, no boyfriend. Just, parties, drinks, that kind of thing. I stay at friend places. She shrugs and picks again at the dry skin around her nails. Laura narrows her eyes. Parties, Hannah. Body language is all school with. Excuse me. Okay. What? Okay. Laura narrows her eyes. Parties, Hannah, body's language is all school with, and Laurel doesn't believe her. But she doesn't push it. She forces a smile, says, I see. Hannah softens, then leans towards her. I'm still young, Mom. There'll be time for men and cats, just not now. But what about us, Laurel? Wants to ask, when will this stop being our life? When will there be time for us to be a family again? When will any of us ever truly laugh or truly smile without feeling guilty? But she doesn't ask it. Instead, she takes Hannah's hand across the table and says, I know, darling. I do know. I just so want you to be happy. I want us all to be happy. You want Ellie back. She looks up at Hannah and is surprised. Yes, she says, yes, I want Ellie back. So do I, says Hannah. But now we know she's not coming back. We're just going to have to get on with it. says Laurel. Yes, you're absolutely right. Her fingers find the piece of paper in her pocket again. They rub against it, and a shiver goes down her spine. Well, well, well. Do y'all think she gonna call the man? I think she is. Y'all just have to wait to find out the next chapter. I swear I used to do like at least two little of these mini chapters, but now it got long. I'm gonna have to go back and make sure I skip no pages. But yeah, alright guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like I said, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Turn your post notifications so you're notified every time I upload a video. And also follow me on all my social media. And I hope you was